Okay, question number 4 says use VLOOKUP to retrieve customer information. Calculate the rebate amount considering that the account holder age 55 or older will receive the rebate established for the classification plus an additional 2% regardless of the quarterly sales. For example, a 56-year-old customer plus a quarterly sales of 22,000 will receive a rebate of 10%, which is the percentage. 15 well, it's gonna get 10% plus 2% will be 12%. In this case, it's wrong because it says 22, so that he'll be getting 17%, not 12%. Okay, so let's focus here on our customer selection. Select from the drop down list customers. So we're gonna create a list. So we go to data validation. And we're gonna create, like I said, a list, and the source is going to be our customer numbers. Okay, and then we hit OK. So we're gonna have now the list of all the customers here going from 1 through 75. Okay, now customer gender. For this, we need a VLOOKUP. So what are we looking at for? We're looking at for this customer, 1. Where are we gonna look? So we're gonna look in the table, data, which I already, data table. Oh no, table, data, oh, I haven't. So we're gonna name those fields in the data. Okay, so we're gonna select all this. And we're gonna name this. We're gonna select again. And now we're going to define this as the data table. All. And here's all information, all data info. Okay. There's a hyphen, so it's an underscore. Okay. Now we're going to be using several of them. So we're going to name this gender as well. We're going to use a gender. And we're going to take them chance to number it. So the column number for gender is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's column 7 of our data table. It's already created. Okay. Let's see which ones I have done already. So I have gender, quality sales, site visits, annual income. Okay. So I think we got everything we need for the moment. So then we can go back to a question 4. So then you can use VLOOKUP. So what are we going to look? We're going to look for the gender. Right now it's appearing. No, I'm sorry. Look at for customer, this. Now we're going to check where in the table, data table, which we already selected. And we're going to look at the gender. The gender is column number 7. So we're going to type number 7. And we're going to decide whether it's a true or false match. And in this case, since gender is only female or male, we're going to do exact match. Okay, so now when we move this customer number 2, as we can see, it's a female, it's a male. Now we have male. Customer number 4, it's a female, as we can see, 4 and female. Okay, so this is working. Let's go back to number 1. Customer age. So for the customer age, we're going to do exactly the same. It's a VLOOKUP. For this customer, we're going to look in the table, in the data table. the H, and H, we have a column numbers, we have column number 6, so we already did that. And the H, we need to do an exact match, because we need to match whether it's 55, 44, whatever H it has. Okay, since this is not a number, we can format this and make it a number with no decimals. This is an H. Now, for quarterly sales, we're gonna do VLOOKUP. Again, for this customer B5. And where are we gonna look? In the data table. Now, for the column index, which column is quarterly sales? So quarterly sales is here, and then column number 9. So we're gonna put the number 9. And we decide whether it's a true match or false match. And we're gonna do an exact match, which is false. Okay. Now for the rebate. For the rebate, we have to do a lookup again, the lookup. But this time, it's not based on this, it's based on the quarterly sales. So we're gonna reference this. And where are we gonna find this information on how the rebate is? So we're gonna find it here in the rebate scale. It's not defined. Okay, so escape this and we're gonna define this. Okay, hold on. Before we create it, we're gonna create this condition. So if equals or over, if more is bigger than 55 or equals, this is if over, say if over 55 or equals. This is going to be their rebate. So it's going to be equals to this rebate plus 0.02, but only if it's over. So we can copy that here. So we already added the 2%, like the 2 extra percent. So 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 2 is 7, 10, 12. But only if over 55 or equals. Okay, so let's create this. Okay, so now we have all this. Now we can name the data as rebate table, rebate scale. Okay, so now we can go and calculate our rebate. So in the VLOOKUP equals VLOOKUP, what are we going to be checking? We're going to be checking our quarterly sales because we're going to base them on there. And where are we gonna be checking if this match or no? How are we going to find what is the percentage? So as we just defined it, we're going to find it in the rebate scale. What is the column index that we're going to use? So basically right now I created 2. One is regular for people less than 55, and this one is for less than 55, and the other one is less than 55 and this is over 55. So we're going to use the condition here. So VLOOKUP, and again we do quarterly sales. The table array is going to be in our rebate scale. But now if okay, and then the rebate percentage is 2, and we're going to find a true match because it has to be approximate, because this price of quarterly sales 14 has to be somewhere between here and here. It's not going to be exactly, so it has to be a true match, which means it's an approximate. As you can see, it's an approximate. Okay, now for the customer rebate, we're going to do an if function, which is if B9, if this is bigger or equal to 55, what are we going to do if it's true? So if it's true, we're going to go, get the rebate which is the percentage rebate. We're gonna add this 0.2, which is a 2%. And that we're gonna multiply to the quarterly sales. Now, if it's false, we're just going to multiply the rebate times their quarterly sales. And this will be the total. So let's just double check that it is true. So for example, so this customer has a quarterly sales of 14,838.47 times 5%, 741. Let's see, let's find one that is over 55. So customer number two. Customer number two, it's a female, it's a male going over age of 60. So let's calculate that. Okay, so his quarterly sales are 19,535.96 times 19,000 should be here earning 10% because he didn't make it all the way to the 20% bracket. So it's 10%, but since he's over 55, he's gonna get 12. So times 0.12, that gave us 2,344, which is exactly what we have here. So that's correct. Okay. Now, for part two. Female number 4. Let's do number 4. So we leave a female that has both conditions. The 61 or 60 that is over 61. Okay. So now it asks us to copy the gender and quarterly sales information from the data sheet. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Gender. And quarterly sales. Okay. And we're gonna need to calculate rebate percentage. And we're gonna calculate the rebate amount. Okay. Let's kind of put the same colors. Not the same, but so this is one. Okay. So let's calculate the rebate first. So for the rebate, we go just the same way we found it out. We look up. Now, this is going to be based on their quarterly sales. So their quarterly sales but I rather do it here. Hold on. I'm gonna do it here because it has I need the H variable. So VLOOKUP, it is based on quarterly sales, which is Q2. And where am I gonna find this information? So in our rebate scale, what index, what column index are we gonna use? So here we're gonna, again, put it a condition. If P, which is H, P2, it's equal or bigger, greater than 55, comma. So if it's true, it's going to apply the rebate percentage. So no. So if P2 is equal to 55 or more, we're gonna use column 2. No, I'm sorry, 3. 3 because it's the one we just created. It's over 55. If not, if false, then it's going to use just the rebate number 2, column number 2. That's for false. Okay, so we close this parenthesis, and now we need to decide if this is true or false. Since we're doing rebates, it has to be an approximate match because it's not gonna match the exact amount of the rebate scale. So it's gonna be an approximate match. And that's gonna be 5%. And from here, we copy the formula. And let's double check. So customer number 2 is a male who's 60. And quarterly sales were 19. So 19, that means he'll put him in the 10%. But since he is over 55, he's gonna get 12%, which is reflected here. Now for what is the rebate amount? The rebate amount, we just do the quarterly sales multiplied by the rebate. And we're gonna stand that for all the customers here. Okay. Now, going back here, so we're not gonna use this, we're gonna use this size since I didn't each. Now for the female, it's asking me to count the numbers. So when it says count the numbers, that means I have to use a count function, count if. What are we counting if? So the range that we're counting is gender, because that's what they want to count, how many females. So is the gender field that we have. And the criteria will be here in B21 since they put it for us. Otherwise, we just type female. And for male, same thing, count if the gender it's a male. The total will be the sum of this two. This plus this. Now the quarterly sales. Quarterly sales, the sum of the total, so is the sum. So sum if the range. The range is asking us, first we need to figure out, because they're asking us what is female. So we need to establish that is it, what is the gender? And gender, the criteria is here, B21. And then what is our sum range? Our sum H is where we want him to find this information. So totally quarterly sales, we gotta select this field, which is our quarterly sales. So from here down, that'll be our criteria to find the total. Now for the male, you can copy the same, and we need to change some information. So gender is D21. Yes, it's D21, but the range moved. So we should have made it okay here. So now it's gonna calculate. And to sum it up, we just do the sum of this field, this cell plus this cell equals. Okay. Now the total rebate. How do we calculate the total rebate? Same thing as total, so it's sum if. Again, if our gender is female, we're gonna find the total rebate. So our total rebate is the rebate actual amount. Since I already named it, I think I did. Let me see. Rebate. So we're gonna go ahead and select our rebate amount. So we're gonna select from here down and close. Let's name it for better. Okay, so data formulas define actual rebate amount. And that's going to be 1, 2, 3. Okay. And where is it located at? We're gonna go ahead and select this and hit OK. So instead of typing, and selecting it, we're gonna write rebate, no, actual rebate amount. Hit enter. Now for the male, we're gonna do exactly the same, which is sum if gender is equals to male. Where is he gonna look for this? And the actual rebate amount. And close it. And now to add them up, which is the sum of this. Sorry, sum of this plus this, and it's gonna give us a total of the two rebates for males and females already separated. Okay.